Hello, everybody. Welcome to MSP Blastoff, the digital marketing edition with MSP Marketing expert Paul Green. My name is Jordan Hosmer. I'm the head of marketing here at Domotz. I'm joined by Violet, she's the community manager, and Paul Green, the founder of MSP Marketing Expert.
Hello.
Hello.
MSP Marketing Expert, but not an expert at making his webcam work with GoToWebinar on a Mac. It's my most depressing and honourable tech failure ever, and I'm glad that I've just failed for 30 minutes in front of the three of you to get my webcam working. But there we go, it's done.
Hey, this is our first go at it, and you know, we're all kind of learning on the fly. So thanks for bearing with us. All right, and we've also got Matthew from Green Street Technology Solutions. They're an MSP out of Philadelphia. We're going to intro them and dive into his business here in a little bit. But first off, I just want to go through some kind of housekeeping on the webinar. You know, there's a chat and questions feature. So if you have any questions for us along the way, feel free to add them there if you want to chat with us. If you have any suggestions, maybe some marketing ideas you want to throw our way or Matthew's way, please do. And any questions we can answer on the fly, we will, and we'll certainly follow up with everyone afterwards. So first off, I just want to give a quick explanation on Domotz. Domotz is a remote monitoring and management platform. We help thousands of MSPs and IT professionals around the world monitor IoT devices, network infrastructure. People love installing us. It takes minutes to download and install us on Windows or Linux, or even a Raspberry Pi or NAS. And we, within minutes, we identify the devices on the network. We map it. We allow remote access and connections, all on secure cloud. But today we're really focusing on digital marketing. That's why we've got Paul here. The purpose of the MSP Blastoff series is really to help MSPs and IT professionals with their business and the challenges that they're facing. So we're going to continue to collaborate with industry experts. We want to kind of do a real-time dive into an MSP and try to provide some feedback. And then with that, we want to give actionable tips that you can take and apply to your business. So we're excited about this, and we hope you'll join us for future episodes. All right. Well, here's kind of the quick agenda. I already ran through the introductions, but I'd like to let Paul introduce himself. Paul, go ahead. Tell us about you and your business.
Thank you. So yeah, my name is Paul Green. I run a business called MSP Marketing. So I'm based in the UK, but I do work with MSPs all over the world. About 50% of our clients are in the States, and I like to help MSPs with their marketing because most MSPs, by their own admission, are really bad at marketing. And the MSP model kind of encourages you, or certainly permits you, to be bad at marketing because you've got great retention on clients, you've got loads of monthly recurring revenue, and so it's very easy to win a number of clients and keep those people and make a good living off it, even though you're bad at marketing. And there are very few other sectors where you can actually get away with doing that. So I would say the vast majority, I mean, talking 95, 97% of MSPs that I meet are really bad at marketing, but they do want to get better, and that's where I come in. So I have a website, which is paulgreensmspmarketing.com. And in fact, on there, you can get a free copy of my book, which is called Updating Servers Doesn't Grow Your Business. And that book, it's a physical, actual paperback book, we'll ship that to you for free if you're in the States or if you're in the UK. The rest of the world, you'll have to get a PDF, unfortunately. But if you go into paulgreensmspmarketing.com, grab a copy of my book, and I am really excited about helping you with your website today, Matthew, because I had obviously had a look at it before our session today, and I'm convinced that by the time we're done with this webinar, I've got a chunk of things that are going to make a real difference to help you generate more leads and ultimately influence more people to pick your MSP instead of someone else's.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, I do want to mention also, I mean, Paul's got thousands of people reading his book, thousands of people in his Facebook group, and and also, you know, using his service. So you know, it's a real privilege to have you on here, and we're excited about the feedback that you can provide, not just to Matthew, but you know, to other MSPs and viewers out there. Violet, how about giving us a quick introduction about yourself?
So I was one of the first employees at Domotz back in 2015, and I have worked with the company for many years. And I moved over to our sister company, Fing, and now I've rejoined the Domotz team because we're growing so quickly. And I'm focused on social media, community management, and I have quite a strong background in search engine optimization. So some of the communities that I'm on are things like Facebook groups and LinkedIn groups, Reddit, and I'm just really looking to, you know, make connections with influencers like Paul Green and get on the ground floor of what's happening in the day-to-day lives of MSPs.
Great. And actually, we're already getting some questions about where people can get a link to the book. So Paul will have to follow up with that afterwards and make sure that gets out to everyone. So. All right. Hope you guys can hear me.
Yes, we can.
So again, as I said, Matthew's visiting us from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, United States. He owns and operates a small MSP called Green Street Technology Solutions. And Matthew, would you like to tell us a little bit more about your business?
Yeah, I began it in 2016. I'm a small MSP focusing on small businesses with 25 to 30 employees or less. I do not have a specific niche that I've found yet, or a vertical. I find that at the smaller size, a lot of businesses are all kind of the same when it comes to their technology needs and whatnot. So to focus on a specific vertical would be limiting myself to who I would advertise to. And we provide everything from break fix to managed services to phone systems. We do basic website, basic marketing. And as the saying goes, the shoe maker's kids go without shoes. And just because I know how to do social media and online advertising does not mean I'm necessarily applying the best practices to myself. Being a smaller size MSP, I do have limited funds on what I can spend on marketing and advertising. So any help I can get from Paul would be much appreciated.
Yeah, well, Paul's got a ton of great content on his website, and he has, I think, 45 episodes of a podcast with great kind of insights for MSPs. But one thing I saw while kind of digging in on his website was he kind of had he has a great story on his about page, but one thing that stood out to me was this kind of realization of when he stepped out, or I think, Paul, you can correct me if I'm wrong. He stopped working in the business and he started working on the business.
Exactly that, and it was 10 years ago. Yeah, thank you, Jordan. In fact, Jordan, you're hired. You're my new PR guy. So just ring Domotz and just quit, and we'll talk later.
All right.
So it was 10 years ago. My daughter was born, and she was born premature, so she arrived 15 weeks before she was due, which is not fun. And she's fine now. She's 10 years old now. Well, apart from the fact she broke her wrist at the weekend, but we don't talk about that. But she's fine now. But so I, with virtually no notice, suddenly had this business of 3 people, 3 staff and me, and I was suddenly, my focus was on, my child's in hospital, my wife was distraught, And I realized it was a real epiphany moment, because I realized that I hadn't really got a business. I'd got a badly paid job that, you know, sucked up 80 hours a week of my time and didn't really reward me. But also, yes, the business could never scale while everyone wanted to buy me. And that was what they were buying at that time. It was, oh, we want more Paul, we want more Paul. The staff were there to support Paul. And there was a major shift in my thinking, and you got it absolutely right. It was about working on the business rather than in the business. So from a tech point of view, working in the business is answering tickets, fixing problems, talking to clients, even account management. You know, these are all, although account management can contribute to sales, but all of these things are working in the business. Whereas working on the business is improving your marketing, generating more leads, you know, talking to prospects, improving the way that you, well, all the things that we're going to talk about with Matthew today. And the challenge I always say to every MSP is, if you can find just 60 minutes every single day to work on the business rather than in the business, you can change everything in a matter of a year or 2 years. And that was all I did. I literally, I was getting up at 5 in the morning, which is quite extreme, and I couldn't do it now. Now I'm in my mid-40s. I was getting up at 5 in the morning and I was working till 6:30. So I was actually giving myself 90 minutes every day to work on the business. No email, no social media, no faffing, no invoices, no distractions, just things that either got me more new clients or got those clients to buy from me more often, or got those clients to choose to spend more. And that was it. And you know, any MSP anywhere in any economy can completely turn their business around. And that's one of the core things. I'm glad you brought that up, Jordan.
Yeah, I mean, I just think it really, as I hear Matthew describing how he's doing marketing for other businesses, but feeling a bit underwater when it comes to actually, you know, driving acquisition and conversion for his own business. You know, I couldn't help but think of that quote. So, all right. Well, here's kind of a quick, you know, summary of Green Street Technology Solutions. Again, based in Pennsylvania. They do some, you know, some training, some online resources. They have outsourced cold calling and copywriting, but really they're looking for ways that they can generate more leads and improve their digital footprint. So here's a quick snapshot of the actual website, Green Street. And I think it's you guys, you can all visit the website, but I'm going to just leave it on this slide here for a second. And Paul, would you like to just kind of start giving some feedback here?
Yes, absolutely. I'm going to start actually, Matthew, by asking you a couple of questions, if that's okay.
Yeah.
So what if the phone was to ring now and at the other end there was a prospect, someone that you haven't spoken to before, but who says, hi, I was just on your website and I just wanted to have a chat to you to see if you can help us. Tell me what, and obviously you'd then ask them a series of questions about their business. Tell me what answers they would give that would make you salivate. So essentially, I'm asking you in a slightly more interesting way, what's your dream prospect? What's the perfect person that could turn up for you?
They have 10 to 15 employees. They don't have anybody that manages their IT right now, and they are looking to outsource their IT needs and have somebody come on to provide the support and maintenance of the computers and the servers, and that they understand the benefits of proactive support and how they want to engage with Green Street to provide that.
Oh, you don't want much, do you? Okay, so would they have an incumbent MSP right now? Because you said they don't have IT support. So would this be that the business owner has been looking after it themselves, and now for whatever reason that it's time to get an expert in?
Yes, because I've found that with being a one-man band, it is tough to overcome and come an existing MSP that has a staff, because a lot of people see a one-man shop as a downside, and that I won't be able to provide them as much support as somebody that would have a staff.
Sure, that makes sense. How long have you been going, Matthew?
I've been going since 2016.
Okay, so 4 years. So you know what you're doing now, and you certainly know your stuff technically. So just before we go onto your website, I'm just going to challenge you on that mindset of you can be a one-man band with the mindset of a bigger business.
Oh
You
yeah,
know, and
I do have that mindset. It's just when I'm asked how many people are on my staff, I have to be honest with them and say right now it's just myself and I have somebody part-time to help. And I'm involved in multiple online communities where I can get help and support. And if something is over my head or I need to call in additional resources, I have other MSPs I can call on for help. But Green Street is just myself.
Okay, so I know we're not talking about the website here, but I think these are important things to kind of get right. Jordan, I don't know if you're aware, but we're seeing your script, your secret script.
Yeah.
It's a good thing you didn't have any incognito windows open, isn't it? We'll see your real secret then. So
I was just gonna grab the link to your book and drop it in the chat for everyone.
Oh, okay. Well, hey, we'll sort that out. We'll sort that out later on.
I normally have about 3 screens, but I had to move to be in a more presentable background here than my garage for everyone. So.
And a lovely background it is too. So Matthew, there's a lovely phrase which I've tried to live my life by, which is fake it till you make it. So the next time someone says to you, and I know we're not talking about the website here, but I think this is a big thing. The next time someone says to you, hey, how many on your team? You say, yep, there's 4 of us in the office right now, but do you know what? We're part of a network of IT consultants that works internationally. Because you've got to think of it. I mean, like, I'm not a tech, never will be a tech. Christ, I can't even get my webcam to work on a webinar. But if I bought your business tomorrow, Matthew, I would go and sign up with someone like Continuum or Benchmark 365 or one of the other outsourced players. And I would put in place a sales and marketing operation which brought on new clients. And when they said, how many people have you got? I'd say, well, we have, 4 people sat in the office, even if that was not quite the truth. And then I would say, but we have a 24-hour operation. We've got something called a NOC, which I'm going to explain to you, Mr. or Mrs. Client, what that is. We've got something called a SOC. I'm going to explain what that is. We've got 24-hour support in 3 different countries. And the reason we do that is blah, 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 blah. And what you tend to find with most end clients is that if you say something with enough confidence and you nod enough and you genuinely believe that this is a better solution for them than the business owner going in to fiddle with their server themselves at 8 o'clock on a Sunday evening, and we all know that what you do is better than them doing that, then they're going to buy that. The one advantage of you stealing clients from other MSPs is that there's 2 advantages. One, they're already used to paying a monthly fee. Because what you don't want is more break-fix clients, I'm sure. I don't know if you have any break-fix clients right now or whether they're they're service clients, but no one wants more break-fix clients. You really don't. Break-fix clients there's profit there, but it's not that long-term. The money just turns up every month. We've got a difficult couple of years coming ahead of us, the economy, and break-fix is not the answer to surviving that. So the advantage is, number one, is that they're used to paying money every month. Second advantage is they're already used to having someone at their beck and call. They're used to being, they don't call them MSPs, they just call them IT support, but they're very much used to that. And then they can compare you to their incumbent. And typically, someone won't leave their incumbent unless they're unhappy. In fact, I believe that actually from this point forward, for the next 6, 9, 12 months, there's going to be what I'm calling the great big client switch, where all the clients, all the end users who were really treated badly by their MSP back in March and April and May, they made a decision to switch MSPs, but they haven't actually taken action on that decision right now for a number of different reasons. And I believe people are going to start to take that action now and over the next, it could last for a couple of years. This is such a massive opportunity for MSPs. So great to hear that you want people who are picking their first MSPs, but that does limit you to a very, very small segment of the market. And I would mentally and emotionally open yourself up to actually anybody of up to, I think you said 20 users, 10, 15, 20 users who is looking for better IT support. Because Matthew, are you good at what you do?
Yes.
Let me ask you again, and you're going to reply with some passion this time. Matthew, are you good at what you do?
Absolutely.
Yes, come on, you're an American MSP. You should be whooping and hollering and going, woohoo, yeah, hell yeah, we're the best. Okay, genuinely though, you know, if I put my business's IT in your hands, you'd really look after me, wouldn't you? You'd make sure my data was secure. You'd make sure that I could work on any device, anywhere, at any time. Because I imagine you've got an immense passion for IT. That's why you started your own business.
Correct. I do have a passion. I've been doing computer stuff since high school.
Okay, so you actually owe it. Did you say you were in Pennsylvania, Matt?
Yes.
You owe it. You actually have a duty to the business owners of Pennsylvania to get better at your marketing so that they are attracted to you and they do not go to your competitors, who are some of whom will not look after them as well as you would look after them. Do you agree with that? That you have a duty to do that?
Yes.
Okay.
I do.
So all of this was necessary because I want to get you in the right frame of mind for looking at your website and understanding how people buy. Jordan, do you want to bring up the website on the actual browser?
Yeah.
So the critical thing to remember with websites is that the people that you want to reach, the ordinary business owners and managers, who they don't know a great deal about technology. And Matthew, I'm sure you could give us a whole plethora of stories about how little your clients know about technology and data security and all of that kind of stuff. So they know very little about technology. To a certain extent, they don't really care about technology either. They care about getting the job done. They care when it doesn't work properly, but they don't care about getting the job done. So for this reason, when someone's looking to pick a new MSP or even pick their first MSP, because they don't know much about technology, they cannot make a cognitive decision about which MSP to choose. By what I'm saying is their brain is not making the decision. They delegate the decision down to their heart, and the decision about which MSP to choose or not is made by their emotions. What this really means is they're not picking someone based on their technical skills. They're not picking someone based on their knowledge of technology. In fact, technology has got nothing to do with it. It's all about, do I like you or do I not like you? Now, Matthew, this is a bit of a kick in the face for you because you've spent the last 4 years, in fact, your entire career, gaining certificates, qualifications, accreditations, experiences. You've been the one sat bleeding out of your eyes at 4 a.m. on a Sunday morning, fixing someone's whatsoever so they could work on a Monday morning. And actually, what people aren't going to pick you because of your knowledge and because of your technical skills. They're going to pick you or not pick you based on whether or not they like you. And I'm sure you have no issues at all that when you're sat face to face with someone, you have no issues converting them, turning them into a client. Would that be a fair thing to say?
Pretty fair, yes.
Pretty fair. Okay, so most MSPs are in that position where if they can get a good quality meeting with a good quality prospect, at least 50% of the time, they'll convert that person into a client. The issue that most MSPs have is how do we get those meetings in the first place? And the thing that's stopping you from getting more meetings is having a website which is more focused on the sort of the technology and the brain stuff than actually the emotional stuff. Right down to, we've got it here in the title. We focus on your technology so you can focus on your business. And the key thing for this, and this isn't just for Matthew, this is for every single person who's listening to this, it is not about the technology. The best MSP websites that I've seen do not focus on technology. They focus on people, they focus on emotionally engaging with people, and they focus on moving someone at an emotional level. Because the other thing you've got to bear in mind is the sales cycle is so very, very slow, and all MSPs know how slow it can be, that you can have a conversation with someone today and it can take 3, 6, 9, 12 months before you actually onboard them as a client. In some cases, it can take years because people only buy when they're ready to buy. And what we've got to do is we've got to keep connecting with them at an emotional level. So Jordan, what you could do, could you slowly scroll down the web page? And I'm just going to quickly go over some of the elements that we see here. Right, so if we stop there, so look at this. We've got, as someone comes into your website, the first thing they see is that sort of big banner at the top, which we're going to go back to, and we're going to do something with that banner. And then immediately we come down and we get straight into cybersecurity training. And no businesses want to have cybersecurity training. We all know how important it is, and actually it's probably as important as all the software solutions, but they don't really want to do it. So immediately, literally, the first thing that we're hitting them with is, hey, here's something we do that you don't want. Because again, it's irrelevant whether they need it or not. They don't want it. No one wants to sit through bloody cybersecurity training. And on top of that, you're also using your classic hacker image, which is on about 1 in 5 MSP websites, and we've all seen that one. And then we come into sort of technical support. And again, you've got there's nothing wrong with that graphic. In fact, it's nice that you've got a little cartoon person in eggs. At least it's a person. But then the text underneath is, and I'm being really brutal with you here, Matthew, because we're going to put this back together and we're going to make this so much better. But we've got here, the bit of text there, which could actually be on anyone's website. It doesn't really say anything about Green Street. And then we've got managed backup, and there's like some hard drives there. So we've got lots of brain stuff here. Brain stuff because we've got words that appeal to the brain, and we've got pictures of devices and pictures of a guy holding a clipboard and a hacker in the Matrix and all of that kind of stuff. And unfortunately, none of this stuff actually influences people at an emotional level. It's all very cognitive stuff. So if we go down, now this is the first bit of cool stuff that we've got here, which is free technology consultation, schedule time that's convenient for you. I've got a suggestion for you that's going to improve that, so we'll come back to that in a second. We scroll down again, it's getting better. We've got this is something called social proof, so testimonials. Now again, we can improve the social proof here because we can just do a couple of things to it to make it better. But this is great. And in fact, I'm going to get you to move these up when we come down to it. And if we go down again, I believe we hit the footer then. So yeah, we hit the footer, and we've got then your recent blog post, which is great. Schedule appointments, so your call to action button again, which is great that you've got a second call to action. You've got your Twitter feed and all of your address and that kind of stuff. And that's it. The biggest thing that's missing off this is emotional engagement, because in fact, off this homepage alone, we don't know anything about you. We don't know anything about the business. We don't even know where you are. I know from the area code, I guess we'd figure it out, but the area code's up at the top left where people don't really look. So we don't know where you are. We don't know what kind of clients you look after. It tells us nothing about you whatsoever. And you have to remember that people don't look at every page of your website. There's only one human being on the planet who looks at every page on your website, and that's you. It's the person in the mirror. If you don't believe me, look at your Google Analytics. It'll show you that and typically the most trafficked pages on your website, so the 2 pages that get the vast majority of your traffic, it's your home page and your About Us page. And actually, when we're done putting this home page back together, we'll go and have a quick look at your About Us page. Now, those 2 pages are not really pages, they're sales opportunities. Because you've got an opportunity when someone's on that home page and when someone's on that About Us page to really, really engage with them at an emotional level. So Matthew, let me ask you some questions because I've done a lot of talking there. Why would I pick your MSP over any of your competitors?
Because I'm better than them. I provide better support. I am local. I don't really have a good answer for that.
And no one ever does. No one ever does. So don't feel bad. So because being better is I always get objective and subjective mixed up. But being better is very much is hard to prove. Define better to someone who doesn't understand technology. I've been working with MSPs for getting on 5 years, and even I would struggle to tell why you were a better MSP than another MSP because I'm not a technical person, and yet this has been my entire world for 5 years. So better, unfortunately, doesn't become a unique selling proposition, a USP. The fact you're local doesn't become a USP. How many MSPs are there in the Philadelphia area? 1,000?
Too many.
Too many, way too many. I'll tell you what you've got. The only thing that genuinely, because you could talk about technology stacks as well, which again, remember, they're not interested in the technology. The only thing you've got that differentiates you from all of your competitors is you. And the challenge for you is to take you, and without giving away that you're a one-man band. I think you're right that people are a little cautious of one-man bands, but without giving away that you're a one-man band, for you to use yourself as the human face of the business and to show, hey, I'm a nice guy, you can trust me with your business. Now, if we go back, we're back up here at the top, we're going to go back down that page, and I'm going to suggest a whole series of different things. First thing I'm going to suggest is that you get rid of this sort of banner up at the top, the We Focus on Your Technology one. A couple of reasons why. First of all, I see network cables, and I hate network cables on websites because network cables, only MSPs get excited by the sight of network cables. And I know everyone on this webinar right now is rubbing their thighs thinking, oh, look at the network cables. They're not color coded. It's all wrong. Hey, it doesn't matter. Other people just see it's just wires, you know. And then we've got the sort of the graphic on the right. Again, it's obviously a stock graphic. These things don't emotionally engage people. So what would be better? What would be really cool in the place? Well, I'll give you two options because one's difficult and one's easy. The difficult one, which is perfect, is to replace that with a video of your existing clients talking about you. So I'm going to give a URL where everyone can go and see videos like these. Now, this is actually what the reason I hesitated. This is one of my services which we offer in the UK, and this is not a plug because this service is very full. And as I say, we can't do it out the UK because it's a physical filming thing, and we choose not to fly to the States with cameras because that's crazy. But if you were to have a look at mspvideos.co.uk, not now, go and do it after the webinar. And on there,
I'm just going to drop that in the chat, mspvideos.co.uk. And also, I've had 3 times the book request. So do you have a URL for that? I'll just.
Sure, it's Paul Greens with an S, Paul Greens, mspmarketing.com, and it's on the homepage. So on MSP videos, this is a service that and thank you for doing that, Violet. This is a service that I offer in the UK, where I have a business partner who physically goes out and videos our MSPs clients for them. And on there, you'll see some amazing videos of clients talking. Now, my favorite is the IT guys one, which is say after the webinar, go and have a look. Because you can show these videos to a local video guy in your area and say, make me one like this, please. So my favorite one is the IT guys one because it's 3 clients. And this is an IT company in London who operates in a very specific niche. He's got a vertical of working with advertising and marketing agencies. And he's got 3 of his clients talking about how they couldn't run their business without him. And literally, that's the first thing you see when you go onto his website is there's a video and it's 60 seconds and it's his clients saying, oh, we don't have to think about our computers. If anything's wrong, we just pick up the phone. These guys are so proactive, though, that things don't go wrong very often. And it finishes on a woman saying, do you know what? We couldn't run our business without IT guys. They're essential to us. Now, even if no one ever scrolled down past that video, they are sold. And that video makes him money. He's only had it for about 6 months or so. It's beautiful. There's another video on there, and you will squeal with excitement when you see this one. It belongs to a company called Crosstech, which again is a UK MSP, and he managed to persuade one of his clients to talk about when he was hacked. This is before John was looking after him. And the guy was talking about how he lost, I think it was like $150,000 equivalent in the UK. And then John and his team came along and saved him. I think they were crypto logged. It doesn't matter the details, but the point is the guy, big games company, sitting, talking to the camera, talking about how he was hacked and how Crosstech came in and saved us and have made sure we'll never get hacked again. And when I saw this video, even I was squealing because it's like the ultimate social proof. Now, how many clients have you got, Matthew, at the moment?
I have about 40 clients. Unfortunately, only 3 of them are managed services.
Okay, well, the fact that they're managed services or not kind of doesn't matter. In the spirit of fake it till you make it, you've got 40 clients, right? So in fact, how many users do you support, roughly?
Probably 100.
In your if you included your non-managed users?
Yes.
So that's okay. The reason I ask is there's 150. We could bump that up a little bit. So the reason I ask is above your video, you want to have an attention-grabbing headline, and it could be something like, let's say we said 287, which is just a figure I plucked out of the air, but 287 people in Philadelphia trust us to keep their business running every day. Now that is a completely unprovable headline, and I would normally say to most MSPs, hey, pick your user number, because that's a provable figure, and use that. And when you're up to like 1,000 users and you say 1,012 people in Philadelphia trust us to keep their business running every day, that becomes quite an exciting headline. But you can go with the 287 one, because I bet actually, Matthew, if you looked at all the users that have kind of might be relying on you because you fixed something for them 2 years ago, you've probably got a hell of a lot more users than you have, just because they're not in a service agreement. We shan't worry about that for right now. So you could have a headline like that, and then you could have a video. And I would go to, you could pick 2 or 3 of your favorite clients. And by favorite, I mean the people that you smile when they call you. We all have clients that we don't smile when they call. And those bottom 20% of bottom 20% people, you want to go to your top 20% of top 20% people, your favorite clients who buy everything from you, who do as you suggest, you have a great relationship with them, you enjoy working with them, they like working with you, the kind of people that you hope you're still going to be working with in 15 years time. And you say to them, guys, can I ask a favor? We're improving our marketing right now. By the way, Matthew, using the phrase we makes it sound like you're a much bigger business than I. It's a tiny little thing. I was a one-man band for the first year of my first business in 2005, and I got into a habit of saying we. Felt like such a fraud, but actually it was a major mental difference for me. So we're improving our marketing right now, and we're going to film a video. How would you feel? Because how would you feel is a great way of asking a difficult question of anyone. How would you feel if I arranged for a guy with a camera to come and interview you guys? It would take like half an hour just to ask you what you think about the service. And the secret is that you found a local video guy or girl, and you have shown them the kind of videos on that video website I shared, and you've said, I want something like this. I want the client saying something like this, because you get those videos depending on the questions that you ask them. It's all about having the right questions, and experienced video people will be able to do that. So that's the difficult way to do it. That's difficult and expensive, because you want it to look, again, if you go and have a look at those videos afterwards, you'll see that those are quality videos. There's, they use drones, they use all sorts of clever technology and cameras and all sorts of stuff. And we call that a Hollywood style 60-second intro. If you couldn't do that, then what you could do is you could start with, and this is a completely different way of doing it, you could start with a photo of you. So get a professional to take a photo of you. You've got to shave that day. You've got to put a shirt on. You've got to smile. You've got to do you know what? Get a wedding photographer. Because I don't know what it's like in the States right now, but in the UK, you can't have more than 15 people coming to your wedding right now. So everyone who's getting married is like, well, screw this. We're going to get married in 2 years' time instead. Wedding photographers have got no work on right now. Wedding photographers are used to making people look really happy when they're uncomfortable having their photo taken. And most MSPs are uncomfortable having their photo taken. So find a local wedding photographer, say, hey, I want a good profile shot. How much? Then battle them down to at least half of what they asked for, because they're just playing their, trying it on, and say, look, come around, we'll meet in a local park, go outside somewhere where it's nice and brightly sunlit, get a really good quality photo, bang the photo of you on the bottom, caption underneath, Matthew, and I don't know your surname, but Matthew's surname, founder, Green Street Technology. Not founder and doing everything and tired every night, but just founder, Green Street Technology. And then you write a letter. It's a short letter. It's like 50 words to your future client. Now, this is a really unusual approach, but this is a perfect approach for a really small MSP that's got ambition, which I think you've got, Matthew. And you'd say, hi there. Or you'd put this in your own words. So I'm going to use some quaint British words and talk in my way, but you'd absolutely put this in your own words. Hi there. What is your surname, Matthew, just before I carry on?
My last name is Lewis.
Lewis, excellent. So hi there. I'm Matthew Lewis. I'm the founder of Green Street Technology, and I'm the most passionate guy about technology and business you'll ever meet. See, I've been working with technology for 262 years or whatever it is. In fact, you could say for 262 years. That would be quite funny. And 5 yedo ago, started my own business to help local business owners around here. And I thought I loved computers. What do you say? Something like, I thought computers were my love, but it turns out that helping business owners is even more exciting. Nothing's better for me than jumping out of bed in the morning and helping business owners use technology to achieve the things they want to achieve. Because I know you're not that interested in the technology itself, you're interested in what you can do with it to grow your business. And that's what my team and I can help with you. So if this is you, and then you might do some bullet points, you're based in, and then list the specific area of Philly that you're interested in, or of course, I guess the whole city. You've got at least 5 staff, and you're fed up working with a technology company that just wants to sell you cloud and security services. Have a chat to me today, and then you'd have a call to action underneath, and we'll talk about the call to action in a second. So out of those 2 different things, which of those do you think would be easiest for you to actually implement and do?
The second one, because that's not going to be as expensive as going out and getting testimonials from people.
Very true. You're absolutely right. The response will also be half of what the video will give you, and the engagement will be half what the video will give you. So at the second you can afford, get a jar of coins on your desk, save up for the video, or just don't pay the video guy. You know, get the video off him and just don't pay him. It'll be fine.
There you go. That sounds good.
I'm joking. I'm joking. It's not like he can take the video away, is it? No, I'm joking. The second you can afford that video, though, get the video. And that I would say that to every MSP listening, get that video. A 60-second summary of your clients talking about you. It's a 5-year investment. That video will pay you back for 5 years. But if you can't do it right now because of whatever reason, or you haven't got the money, because it's you know, a couple of $1,000s. That's not a $200 job. That's a proper job. Then the writing a letter to your future client approach would work really, really, really well, because instantly, the second we're on the website, tick, we've differentiated the business, tick, there's a human being, tick, you're talking to them in their language and not your language. Literally, before they've even scrolled down, we've ticked so many of the boxes there. Now, if you feel, do you feel uncomfortable about the thought of putting yourself right at the top of your website?
A little bit.
Okay. What drives that discomfort? What are you scared might happen if you were to do that?
I don't know. I mean, it's just, I don't like being a computer person. I'm not one of being front and center and in the spotlight. So that kind of makes me uneasy, but it is just a photo. I'm not looking at them when they come on. It's not like I'm asking them for webcam permission and have to look at each person that comes on. So it probably won't be as bad as I think it is.
No, it won't be as bad. And you're no different to the vast majority of technology people I speak to. No one else wants to be on their website either. But here's the thing: because you're up against 10,000 competitors, and everyone else has got, most of them have got terrible websites as well. You only need to be slightly better than some of your competitors, and you will win more business. You know, if you did nothing else that we're going to talk about today, other than put a photo of yourself on the website and with a little introductory letter, and signed it as well. You sign your first name, scan it, literally physically sign it on a bit of paper with a Sharpie, scan it, and put it at the bottom of that letter as if you had literally written a letter to them. That alone will emotionally engage people more than anything else that you could do. And it really, as you say, you haven't got to see yourself. In fact, never go on your website ever again, and then you'll never know that it's even there until the phone starts ringing anyway. Okay, what goes underneath that then? Now, if you'd done if and when you go down the video route, what you'd have then immediately underneath is a call to action. So yeah, Jordan, scroll down a bit to that free technology consultation. Yeah. That's our call to action. The call to action is a thing you want people to do. Now, if you go down the writing a letter route, before the call to action, you've got to put those testimonials underneath your letter. So it's either video, then call to action, or little letter to the prospect, 3 testimonials, then the call to action. Now let's just talk about tidying up those testimonials. You've got on Amy, so Amy K here, you've got Amy's Upcycles, and you've identified her business, and then on Peter and Deborahs, you haven't. And are there specific reasons why you haven't done that, or is that just the way it's gone?
Because Amy is a store, so I'm trying to help drive more people to her website.
Okay.
The other 2 people are not stores. They're more professional business businesses, and on the fence of if it's a good idea to market my current clients, so that, because there's one side that wants to validate that they're real folks and people can go and get and verify the testimonial from them. And then on the other hand, I don't want my competitors to know who my clients are and poach them. And on the security side, it's that same thing as well, that if a hacker wants to hack me, they now know who my client base is and who else they can try to get access to.
Sure. No, that makes perfect sense. Common fears, I've heard these fears before, that if you can find a way to be comfortable naming the businesses, you double the credibility of the testimonials. Because the problem with, I mean, the testimonials are great, they're good testimonials. I would change on Deborahs. I would say, I have called Matt and the team twice for help. And it doesn't matter that we've done a small edit there. We're trying to help you, turn this into a really a bigger business that's got more clients. So we can do a bit of slight fibbing there. Deborah S though has no credibility. Deborah S could be your other half. Deborah S could be your mother-in-law. So whereas Deborah Smith of Smith and Son Lawyers, or Smith's Lawyers, or whatever, it just has more credibility, because as you say, you can go and check out that they're real. I was about to say no one. Very, 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 very few people, only nutters, will actually ring up your clients and verify that they're real testimonials. The 99.9% of people won't do that, because they just see the testimonial, they quickly flick through it, they clock that it's a business, and they've moved on. And in terms of hackers, I can't comment on hackers. I know social engineering is a big part of hacking, and I see where the fear is coming from on that. But in terms of finding out who your clients are, and so in terms of your competitors knowing, I don't think that makes a difference. It really doesn't, because the reality is every business has an IT support company. We could cold call one of your clients right now, and within 2 minutes, I reckon I could find out that I could get them to name you as the IT support company. Oh, that makes me sound like a social engineering guy. But it's not that. It's not that. Now. Exactly, yeah. It's not that really that difficult. So I wouldn't worry too much about your competitors who aren't on your website anyway. They're simply, if you were the big business in town, then you would be getting a lot of competitors on your website. And I bet you, if you go and look at one of the bigger businesses in Philly, that they've got testimonials, named testimonials, probably with photos and logos all over their website, because they win more business from it. So, okay, so we've got the 3 testimonials, and then we've got the call to action, which obviously we've got that green box, free technology consultation. Tell me what that means, Matthew.
I run a 57-point inspection on the systems to provide them, and then provide them with a report as to how they're doing with security and the age of their systems and the infrastructure, go through with what their current needs are and how their current technology either is or is not helping them to meet their business needs.
Okay, and can I predict that virtually nobody has ever scheduled a meeting off the website?
You don't have to predict. That's absolutely correct.
Okay, magic.
Actually, no, magic. That's not correct. I have gotten 2 people from my cold calling and postcard campaign to schedule a meeting.
Okay, that's impressive that you're doing those kind of multi-touch point campaigns.
I take that back. Okay. There was 2 of them. I was extremely excited.
I bet you were. And so, do you jump straight from this to the 57-point audit?
I first do a phone consult with them, and then we do then I can come on site and do the audit if we are deemed a good fit.
Good.
So one place was very bizarre, and I did not want to get involved with them, and the other one shot me down because I'm a one-man shop.
Okay. Which obviously they won't know in future, because it's no, I've got a team of 3.
Me and the team.
It's you and the team. Do you know what? If it helps, name the team. Find three photos of. I know we're going off on a side note here. Find 3 photos of people on the internet that you think they would be my team. Give them names, print them out, and put them on chairs around you. I mean, I'm not saying that flippantly. I mean that genuinely. Sometimes we have to fool ourselves into doing something. I was a radio presenter for 10 years, and at one point I was running a radio station in the middle of England, and we had 22-year-old male DJs talking to a target audience of 40-year-old mums. What did 22-year-old boys know about 40-year-old mums? Nothing, absolutely nothing. So we did a whole series of things, but one of the things we did was we printed off a photo of a 40-year-old mum, a typical looking listener, put a photo of her up in the studio. We called her something like Karen or Sandra or something like that. And we said, when you're doing a bit on the radio, you've got to look at her face and remember you're talking to her. Because actually the best radio presenters don't talk to everyone, they talk to one person at a time. And that worked really well for getting the 22-year-old boys to talk to 40-year-old mums. Anyway, I would say, because free technology consultation is very vague. And actually my idea of hell, as your perfect prospect, my idea of hell is that I schedule some time with you and you want to do this massive audit, because that's like meeting someone in a bar and kind of going straight to a dirty weekend away. And what we've got to do before we get in between meeting someone, I'm going somewhere with this, bear with me, in between meeting someone and skipping to the dirty weekend in Vegas, what we've got to do is we've got to have a date in between. And you've actually got the date, Matthew. The date is the 15-minute phone call where you have a chat with them. So your call to action should be very specific and explicit about it's a 15-minute phone call. And literally right down to changing the wording of let's talk. Book a 15-minute, no obligation video call. And the reason you want a video call initially is because, and this isn't just a COVID thing, 15 minutes on the phone is great, but 15 minutes on video is 20 times better. I'm really annoyed that you can't see me right now because I'm having to, I'm having to overperform here because you can't see me. I'm waving my arms around, I'm doing all sorts of stuff, and you're missing 80% of my performance, and so I've got to communicate just with my 20% of my voice. And Matthew, you can't afford to do that. You want to get them seeing you and talking to you, and all of that's part of that. So book a no obligation 15-minute video call, schedule now. Now, instead of schedule, are you using Microsoft Bookings for that?
Yes.
You are, right. So now Microsoft Bookings, like most Microsoft products, it's only ever 80% as good as the alternative. I am a Microsoft basher by admission, and I had a horrendous Teams meeting this morning where all of us, there were about 15 of us on this Teams meeting, and we were all swearing at Teams because it kept dropping out. But Microsoft Bookings is based on something called Calendly, calendly.com. Now, Calendly is beautiful for embedding your actual calendar there on the page, and you have all sorts of control over it. Microsoft Bookings, you can embed your calendar in the page, but it's ugly. You don't have as much control over it. But I tell you what, if you were to embed your calendar, because you could actually have the calendar embedded on the right-hand side, because people's eyes tend to because in the Western world we read from left to right, your eyes linger on the right-hand side. So anything that's on the right gets more eyeball attention. So you could actually say, look, book your 15-minute call and then have your calendar embedded there on the page. The benefit of doing that is if they don't have to click through, they're much more likely to do the thing you want them to do. There's something to remember about the way that people use websites in 2020 and in the years ahead, and it's only going to get worse. They don't like clicking around. Well, they don't like scrolling down. They don't like clicking around. People hate it. If you don't believe me, go and install a free piece of software into your website called hotjar.com, and I'm sure Violet will share that with us in the chat window. Hotjar.com. It's free for up to a certain usage level, and then you can delete all the data, and it carries on for free. We use it all the time. We delete the data so 2 to 3 times a week, and there's 2 pieces of data you can get out of it. The first is you can get something called a heat map, which literally shows you where people are looking, where their mouse is, what they're clicking on in your website. And you'll see from the heat map that people do not scroll down as far as you think they do. And this is why your testimonials, your social proof, have to be as high up your website as you can possibly make them. The second thing they do, and this is the coolest thing ever, this is you're going to lose your evenings to this. It actually videos people using your website. So you can't see them, obviously. You can't see any identifying information you normally can't see. You might be able to see their IP address, I think, but you can physically watch them, the user session of them using your website. And it will terrify you, Matthew, because you will watch that and you will realize, wow, he or she was on my website for 24 seconds and left, and didn't scroll down to see the testimonials, and didn't do this, and they hovered over the schedule now button, but they didn't press it. And what it allows you to do is to obsess over how people use your website. That's a good thing, by the way. That's a really good thing, because if I have it in one of my particular services, which is as close as we come to an e-commerce service, because people buy it online, and we have completely, totally changed the entire website over a 2-year period based on 2 things. One is on watching videos of what people do, and secondly is using something called Google Optimize, which again, Violet will share with us. Google Optimize is split testing software. Now, the only reason I never recommend Google Optimize to MSPs is because you need fairly chunky amounts of traffic going through your website to see whether this way of doing something or that way of doing something, which is called an A/B split test, to see which of those is better. You need at least 300 to 400 people going through your website to get statistical significance. And for most MSPs, that's 2 to 3 months, if not more, worth of traffic. So I wouldn't worry too much about Google Optimize, but certainly go and put Hotjar in. Hotjar is definitely going to give you some insight. So call to action of put your calendar, embed it there on the page. I love don't want to wait, call or email now. I think that's great. I would make your phone number clickable, because how many people these days have a VoIP that's connected to their phone? It's becoming I wouldn't say the norm, but it's certainly becoming more of a normal. And can we scroll down a bit more, Jordan?
Yeah.
Oh, so you've got live chats. Do you ever get any live chats?
Nope.
Matthew? Nope. Okay. Do you pay for that, or is that a free service?
It's free.
It's free. Okay, leave it in. So I have a love-hate relationship with live chat. I've got about it must be 10, 15 of the clients that I work with closely have got live chat embedded in their website. Some of them swear at it because mostly it's abused by their users to report faults, which is not what you want. But then I have 2 clients in particular who win, 2 MSPs in particular who win clients off the back of the live chat. And you only need 1 or 2 people coming in. It's one of those things, if it's there and you're happy to leave it in, and you get something pinging up on your phone when someone's on, it'll be absolutely fine.
Yes, and I've gotten lots of feedback and lots of feedback, lots of thoughts, and there's lots of avenues to go to for help on the site, between what to include on the testimonials and live chat, not live chat, put this on the site, don't put this on the site. That I've just kind of tried to take the best of everything and mash it onto my site.
Sure. And actually, do you know, this isn't the worst website I've ever seen. It's not the best website I've ever seen. This is a standard, and don't be offended by this, but this is a standard MSP website. And the biggest issue you've got, because everyone's got an opinion on websites, and there's a ton of bloody experts out there. You've got marketing experts falling out of your ears. They're a pain, they really are. But the biggest thing that's missing is emotional engagement. It simply doesn't engage with people at an emotional level. And if you go back to something I said about half an hour ago, which is the ordinary business owners and managers that you really want to have conversations with, they are not picking MSPs with their brain. They are picking their MSP or not with their emotions. So we've got to engage with them emotionally. Jordan, how are we doing for time? What time are we?
Yeah, I was just going to interrupt and say we are coming up on the top of the hour here. So first of all, thank you so much for all the great feedback. I think I do want to, if it's okay with everyone, and at least here we have time to kind of roll over a little bit. And for any viewers that are out there, we will be sending a recording of this afterwards. But I do think, maybe for time's sake, we kind of continue on here.
Sure. So do you when you say continue on, do you want me to carry on, or do you want me to stop there? Because I could talk about this for about another 7 hours.
I think it would be potentially good to get through some of the questions.
Yeah, happy to.
because I know that people might have to drop off in the end. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm in your hands.
Okay. Jordan, just as per my message, could you help me with those? Because GoToWebinar, I'm not able to view them properly, but I do see that we've had quite a few come through.
Yeah, sure. So, well, first off, Shahid says, I'm a member of Paul's community, and the value is
Hi, Shahid.
great content.
Thank you.
He says it's hard to focus on the on marketing on a daily basis. Raphael suggests, Matthew, maybe that you work on maybe a barter or trade-off with a videographer or photographer.
Yeah.
Maybe you could build a website or something for them, which I thought was a great suggestion. A few people are asking about whether or not the webinar is going to be recorded. Yes, it is. It'll be automatically emailed to you afterwards. And then Paul, this question's a good one for you. Any suggestions on a script for video testimonials? Do you kind of get their feedback? How do you work with that with the actual business owners?
The danger of having a script, that's a really good question, by the way. And the danger of having a script is that if you try and put, these are about testimonial videos, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you try and put words in your client's mouth, they will look, their body language will give away that they're uncomfortable when they're on screen. And so the reason I partnered with, so I partner in the UK with a guy called Darren. And Darren's one of my secret weapons, because he completely gets that great videos are not about having good equipment. It's about making people comfortable. It's about asking open questions, about building a rapport with them. So if you look at some of those videos on that website we shared earlier, some of those clients he interviewed for an hour, but he only really got into the guts of what he wanted. The last half an hour, he spent half an hour talking to them. Hey, tell me about your business. So what do you do? Oh, right, you're the, and he's doing it deliberately. They think he's just passing the time while he's setting the equipment up. He's bonding with them. He wants them to like him, because if they trust the guy behind the camera, they're gonna be more comfortable. He gets them a cup of tea. He makes sure they're warm. He asks them about their families. Basically, he talks to them about their favorite subject, which is themselves. And then he hits them with, halfway through the interview, he starts to hit them with nice, comfortable, open questions. So questions such as, what is it about so-and-so company that you guys most like? If your best friend came in now and they were looking for a new IT support company, what would you say to them? Can you give me a specific example of a time they really saved you? And these are very leading open questions, but they're exactly what you want. So I know I wouldn't script it, but I would pick a video person who is a storyteller first and a tech person second.
Mm-hmm.
And you've got, the only way you'll know is by looking at their videos. And if you look at someone's videos and it takes you on a journey, and even in 60 seconds you can take someone on a journey, that's the person that you hire. And by the way, the piece of advice to do a barter with a video guy, that's genius, just genius. It's amazing. It is scrappy, and scrappy's good. It's bootstrap. I love it. Absolutely love that.
Yeah. Well, all right. So for the sake of time, I think we're going to follow up with content and kind of more tactical ways of growing leads. Matthew, maybe we'll sync with you on ways that you can help drive leads into your business, but we're also going to Violet and I are going to create some content around this and make sure it's shared with registration attendees here for the webinar. But let's kind of quickly recap with, we're saying 3, 2, 1, blast off. Maybe 3 things that we think Matthew or MSPs out there listening can implement today or this week. 2 things that they should probably look at over the next month, and then maybe 1 for the quarter. So Paul, I guess let's kind of spitball here based on all the feedback that you've given. But I think you mentioned some great tools like Hotjar, which gives more of a qualitative look at where people are on your site, the heat map, where they're scrolling. So I think installing something like that, removing the banner here, making sure that you can get testimonials up higher with the business names and more credibility around that. Any other suggestions there?
I mean, tons and tons of suggestions.
Yeah,
I think overall, if
I like your Calendly idea as well.
yeah, and that's the Calendly or bookings, whichever you use. It's put it. Don't make them have to click through. Make it look. Show them your calendar is there. It just draws them in. I think the biggest thing, and I know I keep mentioning this, but it's so huge, is emotional engagement. And
Yes.
you know, virtually every single MSP's website I've ever looked at fails horrendously on emotional engagement. And you know, that's the single biggest thing you could do. You could have a really badly designed website with awful colors, a terrible logo, terrible content, but if you've got emotional engagement and it's about people buy from people, not from businesses. So I think I mean, one of the things you could do is for any MSP to do is to find someone you trust who isn't necessarily an MSP, so not someone in tech, and just say to them, get them to look at the website and say to them, tell me what you see on this website. Tell me about us. What do you know about us from this website? And you know, if they're saying things like, oh yeah, right, yeah, you do cybersecurity training and managed backups, whatever that is. So yeah, you do that, then you know you've failed. Whereas if they look at your website and go, oh God, you guys look like fun. I really love what you did with the dog and how you did. That's when you know you've got it right. So if a not quite a stranger, but someone you trust who's not in technology, who you're not married to, if they give you a list of things that you do, your website's failing. If they, in terms of emotional engagement, if they give you if they talk with passion about, oh, I love that photo of that guy with the guitar sticking out of his head, then that you know that you've got somewhere. I mean, I'll give you an example. One of my clients based in the UK. Has a website which is themed around Star Trek, and he did this long before I was working with him. And if he had said to me years ago, "Hey, I'm going to retheme my business, my website around Star Trek," I'd have had an aneurysm and said, "What are you doing? That's insane!" But do you know what? They've done it so well. They've actually created little cartoon characters based on the team, which are all Star Trek themed. He's really gone for it. The vehicles are all Star Trek, the buildings all Star Trek, and he's become, you know, the business is known as the Star Trek IT company, which is it's a bit what we call Marmite in the UK. Marmite is a yeast extract, and you either love it or you hate it. There's no in between with Marmite. And I'm sure that this is a Marmite company that people either love it and think, oh, it's brilliant, or they hate it. The point is, people have an opinion on it. And he's doing really well. He's winning lots of new clients, and the business is very successful. And I have no doubt that much of that in part is that they have a very clear differentiation. It's not what I would recommend for anybody or everybody, but it works very much for them because it's not about technology. The technology doesn't get mentioned at all. They talk about Star Trek, they talk about the office dog, you know, they talk about it's about the people. And so I think you've got to look for that emotional engagement.
Yep. And it's similar to what you mentioned with the, you know, finding someone that can tell a good story for, you know, working with a videographer. You know, that's essentially what you're doing. And even relates to the letter that you mentioned, kind of getting Matt's face up on there and telling his personal story and engaging with the actual, the business owner.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, so I do see we've got a lot of questions. People saying, "Will there be a follow-up?" You know, I think we just simply scratched the surface. How can we join Paul's community? You know, thanks again. Oh, people are asking, can we see it? Maybe do a before and after of Matthew's site in the future?
That'd be amazing.
Yeah. So again, you know, we apologize for running over today. We will do a follow-up here. You know, at least we may gather Paul and Matthew again if they're able. But we'd love to kind of keep this conversation going. We'll follow up with some more content. So I'm going to jump back out over here. So, all right, Paul, thank you so much for this incredible feedback. You know, hopefully it was very valuable for all the viewers out there. Matthew, thank you for coming on and for being, you know, vulnerable, for you know, exposing yourself to everyone and for allowing us to kind of work through your website a little bit and take some critique and some suggestions. So we really appreciate that. And you know, we hope that you feel like you got some great feedback along the way.
Yes, I got a lot of great feedback, and the biggest takeaway point for me is to make the site more emotional and not just sell services or products, but to sell to the person and what they need. That they don't really care about what services I provide as much as it is trying to provide a solution that fits their concerns.
Yep.
Brilliant, just brilliant. Thank you, Matthew. I think Jordan made a very good point about you allowed yourself to be beaten up by me for half an hour, and I think you took it really well. And you know, if you can get those changes made on your website, in fact, if you could do that by next week, we could do another one of these next week, and we could do the before and after. Do you reckon you get all that done by then? Easy. But no, thank you, and thank you, Jordan and Violet, for having me on. I do appreciate it.
Yeah,
it
great.
was awesome.
Given kind of the questions and feedback we're getting here, I think we're gonna have to do a follow-up. So
Next month.
I'll be in your
Episode
inbox,
2.
Paul and Matthew. So thanks again, everyone, for attending. We will send a video recording of this, so you can jump back into some of Paul's feedback on Green Street technology solutions, and then look for ways to apply to your business. Best of luck out there, and thanks again.
Cheers.
Yay.